Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going over the frontside 5-0 grind. Very similar to the frontside 50-50. I'm surprised I haven't gone over this one yet. It's one of the more basic ledge and rail tricks, but I wanted to go over the ledge version first and then kind of briefly go over how to balance this trick on a rail. I haven't really done that before, but I think this is a very intimidating trick to try on rails, so I just figured I'd go ahead and cover that as well. But you want to make sure you have your frontside 50-50s down. I would say that's pretty appropriate for this trick since they're very similar. You're going to approach like you normally would for a 50-50 and just sort of ollie and aim to get the truck on like you would for a 50-50, except you're just trying to aim to get the back truck instead of both trucks. So when you ollie, you're going to keep the front foot raised up and the back foot with most of the weight on it. It also helps if you know how to do a regular manual, even on flat ground or a small manual pad, just because that'll help you learn how to put weight on the back foot and balance that. Some people like to touch the tail on this trick. I do too. I don't really balance it without touching the tail like a manual. I think more people do it that way with a backside 5-0 for some strange reason, me included, but you don't have to do it that way if you don't want. But I think it's important either way to just know your 50-50s, know how to do a basic manual, or just really put the weight on the tail like that before you try this trick. And it's pretty straightforward from that point on. You're just going to kind of fall off the ledge. If you have problems getting out of it, it's probably because you're going too slow. And otherwise, that's pretty much it. It's basically a 50-50, but you're adding more weight on the back foot and just learning how to balance that out as you continue off the edge. So I think the more difficult version of this is when you try it on a rail, whether it be a round rail or a square rail. And the way that I like to balance it is basically the same way that I normally would for the ledge. It's just a little more intimidating. On a ledge, you would have almost the entire truck on the rail with the heel side wheel right up against the coping, just to give you the most stability possible. But on a rail, you can't really depend on that stability because you don't have that wood or that extra concrete to really balance on. You just have like basically what resembles like a balancing act on a wire, right? Except you're just on like a metal tube and you're balancing it out. So what I do as far as doing this trick on a rail goes, I would have the weight on the heel side of the truck, have some sort of way to rest your weight and still keep it balanced, if that makes any sense. It's easier to kind of pick one side, whether it be the toe side or the heel side. And I think for a frontside 5-0, it definitely makes sense to have a lot of your weight on the heel side. Now, some people are worried about slipping off to one side and flipping over and maybe, let's say, hitting your back on the rail, or doing it the other way where you hit your ribs on the rail because you slip out too much. I just kind of slip out on the other side of the rail if I'm going to slip out, and not really kind of committing to that bail, if that makes any sense. If I'm going to slip out on that side, my entire body's going to go out on that side. I'm not going to have my lower half slip out that way while my upper half goes the other way and end up getting sacrificed on the rail. You just kind of end up picking one side or the other. And in my honest opinion, I would rather pick the back side, where I'm not going to hit my shins or possibly flip over and hit my ribs on the rail, right? It would be my backside. But even at that, I'm going to have my entire body go on that side of the rail. It's not going to be easy at all to commit to this trick on a rail, but once you give it those first few tries and you realize that you got some stability on it, it becomes easier as time goes on. So that's just my tip for the frontside 5-0s. Comment down below what other rail tricks you want to see me cover in the future. Thanks for tuning in as always, and I will see you guys next time.